This podcast is meant for mature audiences only and contains strong sexual language. Welcome to Sex, Love, and the Black Experience with your hosts, mskikilove and msneshab of Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. We're just two dope sisters who love to talk about sex and give our amazing guests a platform to share their experiences and expertise as it pertains to sex, love, and the Black experience. So let's get started. Well, hello everybody.
Hey.
This is Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses, Sex, Love, and the Black Experience. And we have some amazing guests here. So we're going to introduce everybody and then we're just going to have a discussion. We're just going to let it all flow. So I'm going to put the camera on everybody. First, I have my lovely business partner. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey everybody, it's mskikilove. You know what it is, the vibes.
I like that.
You already know the vibes. I'm on.
All right, and to the left of Miss Kiki, we have Dee. Go ahead and introduce yourself, beautiful.
Hey, I'm Dee, our Tye Boss Thickumms.
Thickumms. Pew, 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 pew.
We gotta get the sound effect.
Right.
I think that's it. Pew, 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 pew. Okay, go ahead.
And it's a pleasure to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little quiet on the quiet side, but I enjoy topics like this.
We're going to get you to talk today.
On the talk. Trust.
Yeah. Go ahead and drink a little more. We're going to talk.
Drink a little more than lemonade. I'm Tye LaChelle. Tye, Tye _LACHELL on Instagram. Miss Tye LaChelle on TikTok. Y'all watching me on TikTok. Hey, y'all, bye.
Okay, TikTok.
Hey.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not as quiet.
No. I already
And
see
that's
that.
okay.
But I enjoy speaking on these topics, especially with like-minded people. So I'm excited and thank you for the invite.
You are welcome.
Thank you for coming. Like, you guys, you don't know how much this means to us. You know, we are really enjoying meeting people, like-minded people, and just having amazing conversations with the melanated community because, again, a lot of the topics that we talk about, people think is what we talked about earlier. Oh, that's white people shit.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's my favorite saying.
Yeah.
I said it at work yesterday. Oh, that's some white people shit. And they was like,
It is.
I said what I said.
Like,
That's some white people shit. You would never catch me doing that.
Like, that's the point of why we're doing what we're doing, is to break the taboos within our community around sex, sexuality, and all that good stuff.
Yes.
And so that was the whole purpose of this podcast, is to bring different people of different backgrounds that are melanated to have these kinds of conversations, because it's important. Like, we need to let people know we fuck too.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Good.
We're not a monolith.
We do it well.
Very well.
Okay.
Yeah, we all don't think alike. We all don't, we all don't think the same, but that's okay though. But as long as we're on the same train,
Yep.
that's the most important part.
Mm-hmm.
Is that we're, as a community, just because we all don't think alike, that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But as long as we're on the same train and we're going the same goddamn direction, you see what I'm saying? That's the most important part, to me at least, right? So it's dope. Like, we are excited to have you guys here.
But now we're gonna get into the sex and the love.
Yeah. Get into it. My favorite part.
So today we're gonna talk about ethical non-monogamy. And the reason I when I looked that up, ethical non-monogamy, it really encompasses everything around, everything around people who just live their lives, as you said. They're exploring,
Right.
they're open,
Right.
they don't put labels on themselves, and they just, they're just living their lives. And so, you know, whereas before it was like, what are you? Are you a swinger? Are you a this? Are you a that?
I'm none of that.
What I'm finding is a lot of the lines are blurred. Like you can find people who are in the lifestyle, but they kind of, you know, they might be a little more polyamorous at times, or vice versa. And so I thought today we could kind of talk about that. Talk about our backgrounds, like where do we you know, where do we start in our backgrounds, because that's important, especially when we talk about the Black experience, because being Black shapes our sex lives. It shapes our relationships, it shapes love, all of that. So let's just talk. D, you go first. Just tell us a little bit about, like, you know, like your background, where you grew up, and then how you evolved.
You gotta start first, but
I can start first if you want. It's up to you.
I'll go ahead. Well, I'm 43. Oh no, I'm 44. I'm 44.
That's the thing.
Yeah. And
I almost just lied too on accident.
All right. I come from a very religious background. My father is a bishop at a church. My grandparents, both sides, were in church. Uncles, cousins, aunts, a brother, everybody's in church.
Right.
I was in church.
Right.
Until I met my husband.
Most of us.
Yes.
Most of us was raised
in church.
And
we just got out.
And I think that's where there's a problem.
Right.
Because
Absolutely.
you're taught in church you can't masturbate. You can't have sex before.
Girl,
listen.
If
I'm
you
just
don't
saying
preach on the day, if you don't talk on the day, sis,
I'm serious.
Tell it.
All of it. You can't have sex before you're married. What else? No kids before marriage. No same sex anything. You can't dress as a female as a man, or vice versa. It's a lot of you can't.
Right.
Yeah. And I lived with that, and I was good with it. And then I met my husband. Changed my whole idea of everything.
Wow. How did you do that?
Because he was like, I suffered some losses, children. So I had 4 losses before I had my son.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. And so when my first one, I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go ahead and live my life. I want to do this and that. Because I felt like at this point, what could I lose? So he was like, go ahead. And I'm like, really? He was like, yeah, go ahead. You want to be with a woman? Go ahead. I was like, this man cannot be serious. And he was, and he still is. And so there was a lady that I saw online. I was like, I think I want to date her. And he was like, go ahead. Again, I'm like, this man gotta be crazy. You know, who's gonna let their wife, you know, date like that, and let alone a woman,
right?
And so it happened. We went out, dated. We were a couple for a while. She was also married. And even at this time, I didn't realize that there were labels of poly this or swinger that. It was just like, you know, we matched. The husbands became friends. They're still friends. And life just flourished from there. I still didn't understand the difference between swingers and poly, because it seemed like we were doing both.
Right.
Like sometimes we would enjoy each other as a couple and, you know, be with people, or either he would have his time with someone, I would have mine. And then eventually when I met my boyfriend, it was like, he was like, I enjoy, you know, this, you know, us having sex, but I want more. I'm like, more? What man is going to ask me to have more, and I'm already married?
Right.
So again, another chapter has been opened. And he was like, well, just ask your husband if it's okay that we have a relationship. And I was like, okay. So I asked, my husband was like, go ahead. So I've been with my husband for 16 years, and then with a boyfriend for 8. And he's also married. So when I was saying earlier, it's like there's such a thin line between being a swinger and polyamorous.
Right.
Whatever you want to put into it. I've been all of it. I've been to the parties where you just like, oh, he look good. And you just go ahead.
I like that.
Oh, she look good. Okay, go ahead.
Right.
You know,
Hey.
I've been there, and then I've been where it's like, You just want to chill with that person and spend
Right.
time with
Do
them.
more with them,
So
not
what
just
do you-
to be a
What
sex
do you
thing.
label yourself as? I know we don't like to label, but
Yeah.
what do you like to label yourself in the world of
These labels.
Ethical
Yeah.
Non Monogamy.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
I would say I am a bisexual, polyamorous person.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
nice.
I
Then you
don't
can
know.
have multiple labels.
Yes, and it's a lot, and I
Because
realize
there's intersectionality within
Yeah.
that. We talk about that all the time, about these intersexual kind of situations
Mm-hmm.
in the Black community where I'm Black, I'm a
Mhm.
woman, I'm bi, I'm this, I'm that. There's all these different layers. So when I asked you that, it wasn't to,
Put you in a box.
Put you in a
I
box,
understand that.
but just just for curiosity. You
I
know what I'm
know.
saying? For the people.
If you had
Yeah.
to.
Right.
And I'm not a textbook person.
Right,
And I know it's
right.
like a whole bunch of layers
Ain't no
and
textbook.
levels. Trust me, I've encountered people where they be like, well, are you a polyamorous solo bubble? I'm like, wait
Do
a
you
minute.
full swap? Do you this swap?
Yeah,
Do you
yeah,
this?
like-
Do you this? I'm like,
And guess what? You can be any combination of all them
of them, you
things.
can check all the
Right.
boxes.
You
It
can any
depends on
combination of all of
your
them.
interaction with the other person or couple or whoever. It
Mhm.
depends on that where you check that box off at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's taken a long time to even realize that there are so many boxes.
Right. So coming back, looking back at your past, your family, the church, how do you how does your family react to that, and how do you resolve being free from even caring?
not to be funny or no disrespect, you have to say fuck the family.
Right.
For sure.
Come
Because
on.
you have to figure out what makes you happy
Right.
24/7.
Mm-hmm.
Am I going to be happy if I go out with my girlfriend? I don't have a girlfriend. I'm just saying, when I did, if I go out with her, that somebody's like, girl, did you see blah, 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 blah?
Mm-hmm.
That don't bother me. And then most times, like when I would go to like the sex clubs and this and that, I would see some of my own relatives going up in there.
Right.
But online or in your face, they always
They
talking
wanna say
about
that.
something.
They don't do this or they don't
Yeah.
do that.
Quote scripture. You be
Right.
like,
Listen.
I saw
I
you at the
saw you.
club.
Right.
Look,
Right.
I done seen some
Yeah.
things.
It's-
I ain't gonna speak on it, but I saw it.
I'd rather be open with myself and be happy. That way I don't have to validate nobody. I don't have to change nothing about me to please someone. They ain't
Right.
paying my bills. They're not doing nothing for me but talking about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how does it impact your marriage? Like, tell me how that works.
Okay, I was the one that was insecure
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, how can my husband allow me to be with other people and still be fine with me?
Right.
And then I would also question, okay, I like women and I like men too. So how does that work for his psyche of me going out with a woman
Right.
and then
Going out with a man.
going out with a man?
Right.
But my husband is just one of those guys that he's secure in his position.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yeah.
I feel like that about my husband.
Yes.
I'm with such a secure man. I'm like there's things I can feel like I can explore because of him.
And you can talk to him about different
And
stuff.
that's what's so unique is both of y'all are married to Black men, and it's very rare to find that
Yes.
within the Black community that
Yes.
because most of our men
They ain't
are
going.
very
No.
fucking insecure.
They are not going.
Let me be all the way like real.
Mine
right
ain't
now.
going.
They don't
Be all
mind
right.
Girl,
you
be real.
having sex with the women.
Women.
Oh, and bring
They-
it home.
right.
And bring her home so we can both have her.
Right.
But the moment you say,
Hey,
Mhm.
oh babe, I want to try some more penile in my lifestyle.
I need some
okay,
work.
why would you want that? And what?
What we doing? We ain't no dick swap around here. No, I'm the only one dick.
But we swapping
Well,
coochie,
she
so
said
why
toys.
not?
Men don't like toys. They feel like it's competition. Some men don't like toys.
I'ma do
because they
both,
feel
huh?
like
Nick
it's competition.
Cannon, like we had a conversation. Nick Cannon, he went on record and was talking about ain't no toys coming up in here. I'm the only dick up in here.
Well,
and
he
da, da,
showed
da, da,
us
da.
But he got
I
22
said-
and a half baby mamas.
I have
Right.
said,
That's not
I have
accurate, y'all.
said
Don't quote me.
Did you say
multiple
20?
times.
22 and a half baby mamas ain't counting.
Right.
We not gonna talk on real numbers and facts right now. That's just me
How
being
you doing
funny.
I've said this
He
multiple
repopulating the world on his
times, and
own.
I'm gonna say it again
She
for
popping
the
the
niggas
toy
in
out
the
at
back
Susie
that
Lee.
can't hear. Toys are not a replacement
No,
for
they
your
never
dick.
are.
dude.
But
Like,
even bringing other
stop.
people, even in bringing other people, like you dating other people, whatever, that doesn't.
That's not a replacement for you.
That's not a replacement for your husband
Because
either.
they bring something
Every
different than what you
relationship is
bring.
different.
Right.
Everything I do is different with the next person.
Right.
The only thing I can say that my husband was, he was comparing himself to the boyfriend.
Right.
And I was like, don't do that.
Size-wise or
Huh?
comparing how so? Like
Oh,
size-wise?
no, nothing like that. It's
Okay.
relationship.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, is he giving
Yeah.
you something that he feel like he's lacking or something like that?
Right.
How do you reassure him?
That's a valid question, though.
Only thing I can do is just be me with him.
Right.
And I would tell him, I said, well, if there's something that I don't really like that we don't do or do, I let him know. Like, I want to go out more often. I want to, experience different foods or whatever. Because my husband, for an example, he sticks when it comes to food. I ain't saying nothing else. But when it comes to food, right, he sticks to, okay, we go to Red Lobster, then he going to get the, I don't know, crab, whatever. When we can go to the sushi restaurant down the street and have some sushi. You know what I mean? Something different.
Right.
But as far as everything else, yeah, he on point with it. But the boyfriend, on the other hand, he likes to go out and just explore.
He likes to explore and, and do different foods and all that kind of stuff.
And it's not just sex with him.
Mm-hmm.
And men don't understand that sometimes. Like,
you need that variety.
it's not about just the sex. I could cheat on you and never ever have sex
You
with
would
another
never
man.
know either. And they
Also
would never
that.
know.
But more so for me, it's like, hey, you. It's not about sex. I don't ever have to have sex with another man. It's just about the experience that somebody else brings that you are not able to bring to me.
Right.
I
But
brought
it
my
doesn't- but I'm
lifestyle
not
to your
replacing
lifestyle.
you
I'm not
either.
replacing
No, it's
you.
not
I still
replacing
enjoy
at
what I
all.
get from you, but also there are certain aspects that you are not able to bring into this relationship,
Or that
and
they don't
sometimes I
want
need
to
other
either.
people. And I'm not gonna lie. Yes, I'm bisexual, but I prefer men. So sometimes it's gonna be a man who's gonna bring that extra aspect into it. Sometimes it's gonna be a man and a woman that's gonna, because I lean on women heavily for my emotional needs when I'm in a relationship. I love women for that aspect, and women be like, "Oh, you fake gay." No, I'm not fake gay. I understand what I bring out of women and what women bring out of me.
Right.
On the other side, there's the sexual. Sometimes you might have a man that's not into certain things. He's not comfortable with certain things. And those are things that are necessary for you. You don't want to let him go, and you let him know that.
Right.
But also there
Exactly.
are things that he's not providing that maybe you need provided. And if he's not willing to do it and we don't want to part ways, you got to let somebody else do that. I'm sorry.
I'm going to ask you the same question. What do you label yourself as? What do you label yourself?
I label myself as open, and that's it.
Okay.
Perfect.
Got it.
So with my guy, he understands, and I let him know when we came in, and he may not agree to this, but I said what I said. I am an open-minded woman. I find my needs and who I need to find my needs in at that moment. And when we part ways, we part ways. If it's a man, if it's a woman, whatever. I let you know what my needs are up front. And if you decide that you do not want to meet those needs, or for whatever reason, not that you decided consciously, you are not meeting those needs, there's a conversation that has to be had. And you can agree with it or you cannot. Those needs are going to have to be met. And whether it's with you or without you, they are going to be met.
See, that's the difference between ethical non-monogamy and just cheating. You know what I'm saying?
And that's the thing. You
being
have to have
real, you
those
being honest up
conversations.
front, you having those conversations.
You have to.
And then you give them the opportunity to make the decision.
Like,
if
yo,
they wanna be
I
bothered or
can't do
not.
that. Like mine, he like, oh, no other men. And I had a conversation with him a few weeks ago. I was like, yo, okay, so look, you say you don't do this, you don't do this, you don't do that, but I like this, and sometimes that. If you're not going to do it, you have to be okay with letting somebody else do it or let me go. And as much as I love my man, I am also very well versed in being by myself and being able to do whatever I want to do and having my needs met.
But let me speak to that, because some people will do, and that's a problem. You have people in lifestyles or doing stuff to please their
For the
partner,
other partner.
but they
Don't
don't
ever
want
do
it.
that for me.
And
It's
if
a
you
lot
don't
like that.
want that, you need to be honest with
Don't
yourself
ever
and not
do that.
be bothered.
That's
and
a
it
big
may
no.
hurt because you really care about
You
that
invested
person.
in it.
But if it's not your thing,
Yeah. The whole thing.
And that is my biggest thing. My last relationship, for 9 months, he was like, oh, I can do it. I can do this and do that. We had our first group session, and it involved my 2 girlfriends, my actual girlfriends and their guys, and he was not. Like, the next morning, and the crazy thing is actually both of us agreed that next morning, like, yo, we don't ever have to do this again. I don't know if it was the people that were involved or just the thing as a whole. I noticed that it made him uncomfortable.
I got a question for you with that, but I know Dee was about to say something. What were you about to say?
Now, but
Yeah, okay.
Sorry.
We were talking about if the guy, if the person, the other person or the partner doesn't want to do it.
I was going to say that this whole thing, lifestyle, whether you swinger, poly,
right,
whatever.
Right.
If you want to just envelope it all as
open
lifestyle, and open, open is.
I
great.
like that.
Or free spirited,
right?
Whichever one. It has to be something that you enjoy.
Yes.
You shouldn't be forced to do something. I think we had kind of touched on it earlier, where if you go to like a sex party and you just thrown.
Yeah.
I've talked to women to where they were invited to sex parties and they had no idea that it was a sex party.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They thought that it was just a gathering of, so-and-so's friend is having a party, blah, 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 blah. And they looking like, oh my God.
That's kind of
And these are people that are vanilla. That is not an introduction into a lifestyle, because that changes their whole mentality of what we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Of being open and free
You're
spirited.
not properly introduced.
No. And so then that makes them wonder, like, well, so you're into BDSM and your husband allows you to be with other people and you're bisexual. How does that work?
It does.
It just does.
It works how we make it work.
Yes. And that's one thing that I hate when people say that they are a part of this lifestyle, that they just throw people into it.
Yeah.
You don't give them any introduction. You don't give them any rules. You don't give them anything.
Need people to have choices.
You have to have a choice.
But even at those events and different places, I like the ones if they say to you, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Right.
Like it might be some things going down and you can decide, you can just have fun. Cause I think sometimes it's even, you may not participate, but you just are around people that are free and open and that you feel comfortable with, and you don't feel judged.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times the reason why people might like to be around open people or in those situations is because they feel free. They don't feel judged. Whether they make a decision to move forward or not, they still feel like, wow, these are open-minded people. They are at a whole nother level. They're not judgy. And I enjoy them. I have more fun.
Yeah, we were.
And y'all can
It's
just
not
be doing
always that way. It's
That
not
part.
always
Hello?
that way.
And sometimes game night or whatever, don't be doing nothing.
Right.
But they think the same way I do, right?
Yeah. Everybody in that room
It's comfortable.
feel the same way. And they feel like they're going to take off their shirt and go give somebody some sex or whatever.
Right.
They go ahead and do it.
They want to take off
We go over here and play
their
spades.
Yeah.
Play spades.
No.
But I need everybody to understand what this is. Like, because we just did our calendar for 2023. 2024. And we talked about the next level of our business and where we want to grow and where we want to take it. And we will be having a play party.
Yeah, we want to do an adult sleepover.
Everybody that's coming is gonna know what the fuck this is.
Right.
Like, don't be coming up in here acting like I didn't know what this was, and I'm shocked.
And even if you
fucking in the corner,
but what I've noticed, like this,
be
it might be
respectful.
good to just
That
have a
part.
chat around that, and then people can chat and ask questions. And be like a private chat group, and people can be real and ask questions and be open. At the same time, there's no pressure either. No. It's not about having pressure. So it's like creating an environment that people can feel free to be who they are,
but also the
keeping
limit.
the creeps out. And also, it's like balance, keeping the creeps out, creating an environment that people can feel free or whatever, but also people who don't want to can still feel a vibe and still have a good time and not feel pressured. Right. So those are the three elements that we know that we want to have a balanced, fun event.
It's needed here.
There's always going to be that balance, though, because it's always going to be people who don't want to participate.
Right. When we talked about it, we were very clear on our intentions, because there are a lot of Black folks that are not in the lifestyle like all of us are.
Curious too.
But they are very curious. Yeah. But there are a lot of Black folks that are in the community, right, that are very well known, that we're like, well, I want to come, but I don't want to be, out here, people knowing that I'm curious. And it's like, right, because again, of judgment, of people, assuming all this. Well, I'm like, listen, nigga, don't nobody give a fuck.
And we all
anybody you see here that has pretty much as much as you have to lose as you do.
Right. I'm like, nobody cares.
Write a book about it. Everybody fucks.
Right.
But everybody poops. Everybody fucks. Okay.
And I'm like,
Black
if
people.
that's the case, I'm like,
especially black
put a mask on,
people.
nigga.
Right.
If you really out here don't want people knowing that you out here trying to be curious,
Don't do it.
Put a mask on, right? Put a mask on so that way you're like, okay, it's anonymity. I really don't want to be seen. Because again, we just did a play party a few weeks back.
We did.
It was
like
a very
kickback.
it wasn't like that.
No, it wasn't that. It was more so a collab of people, and we were doing it for content.
She is mad.
No, we were doing it. We were doing it for content.
I get it.
And it was like just a group of people. Some people were looking to maybe do an OnlyFans, and then we were doing content for our. I can't live. Let me just say this. But I'm gonna tell you this though.
It will
I'm
be
gonna tell you what's so deep.
because this shit we cannot post this on
No,
Instagram.
no, we'll be doing
family.
OnlyFans with that.
Yeah,
OnlyFans family.
Hey, listen, I brought my husband, and it was him that made me comfortable,
right?
Because I was such a prude, but it was so funny because we came there and we were like, we're gonna be the prudes. We're not gonna do anything. And we ended up being the wildest ones.
I came out the shower.
So this is the thing. You just never
ain't gonna go into
know.
detail.
It's the vibes. It's really the vibes.
It was the vibe. It was the
It is truly the vibes. And also, one point I can say with you, there's nothing like having a supportive partner.
Oh, yeah,
Absolutely.
A lot of, I will say women, especially, who do not fully flourish in the lifestyle is because they have partners who are not truly supportive of it.
Right.
When I first got into it, I had a partner that just threw me into it, like I said earlier.
Yeah.
I went to a party. My friends, unbeknownst to me, were all swingers. My girlfriends, my homies that I
It's a lot of people that are there today.
I was dating one of their best friend and found out through them that he was in the community.
Wow.
And I was like, you know what? Me and him sat at the lakefront in Chicago and we had a whole conversation. I was like, listen, I'm not going to condemn anything that I've never participated in. So the next party, I'll go with you.
Mm-hmm.
I waited for hours because he was coming from work. I was coming from work. I got there before him. It was weird. Very, very, very weird. My friends were there when I got there, luckily. And I just started
That's what I wanted to ask you. Because I'm from the thing of don't share where you eat.
Yeah.
What I mean by that is I have a group of friends that I'm not playing with them. I
don't play with my friends.
If I decide that I want, me and my husband, if we move on, we play, I'm not playing with them because I'm not sharing where I
my
eat.
friends
So how
not
do
finna be
how
able
does
to
that work
describe my
doing it with
man
your
dick to
friends?
me?
Yeah, like how do you do that?
And this is something that I have to explain to him all the time. He'd be like, oh, so who you gonna bring in? First and foremost, it's never gonna be somebody I know that I bring in. Not ever. The people
I might know you. You just can't be in my circle where my vanilla circle. How about that?
So exactly, the vanilla circle. But also, you cannot be in my close lifestyle circle either.
Right.
My best friends that I share everything with, you will never touch them.
Right.
Point blank, period. My girlfriends are on a different tier. I have my friends who are just friends, who are in the lifestyle, and I have my girlfriends who are like, okay, listen, you call me for your nigga, I call you for my nigga. Sometimes we just gonna do some swaps. It's not always gonna be like that, but understand that there are going to be lines. These friends over here are always off limits. No conversation. My girlfriends, I got 2.5. One of them, she dabble in the lifestyle when she wants to, and I respect that.
Mm-hmm.
The other 2, they with the shit.
Right.
And when we decide we all with the shit, your man's coming, my man's coming, your man's coming.
Has there ever been any like backlash on that?
Not ever.
That's
so I am very good with, in regular life, I'm terrible at discernment. Mm-hmm. In the lifestyle, I'm really good at discernment. I know who I can trust in this, and I know who I cannot trust.
Okay.
I also know who I can trust my man with.
Mm-hmm.
There are some friends where it's like, listen, baby, I love you, but I don't trust him with
it ain't been no like they going because
it ain't never been no behind my back.
You can't cheat. There is still cheating.
Yep.
Cheating only applies when you're being deceptive.
That's what I'm
Come
saying.
on.
That's
Come on.
So that's how I
So
see
ain't
it.
don't nobody go behind people's
My girls
backs
ain't going behind
and
my
doing
back.
shit.
Yeah,
Okay.
right.
That's
I had
what
one that
wonder.
went behind my back and I had to check her. And it was with a guy that actually brought me into the lifestyle.
Right.
But I didn't care about that because you brought me into the lifestyle on some fuck shit.
Right.
And then you had to realize you had to fuck around and find out who you was really dealing with. Because I had not really come into myself yet and realized like, oh, this is a real thing. I can do this and still be accepted in the world. I can do this and it still be okay. He brought me into a party. He vanished on me.
Oh, gosh.
Vanished. 3 hours. I did not see this man at this party. And when I finally did come, he came and kissed me with pussy on his breath.
What? Come on.
Whoa, sir, what the fuck are we doing? We didn't
And see,
agree to
that's
that.
why
We
I said-
said we are
Yeah.
observing
Respectful.
tonight.
Yeah.
Rules.
Disrespectful.
That's another thing I want to bring up. Let's talk about. If you decide
Anybody
to
got an
do,
iPhone charger?
do the like, I don't have my iPhone charger with
It's
me.
okay. Ours is in the car.
If you're looking at doing lifestyle things and stuff like that, when we talk about cheating, it's important. I think communication is the key.
Transparency.
You- like,
Not
even-
just
even
communication.
when you're having-
transparency.
When you have other relationships and so on and so forth, you have to be very honest. Like, what are the rules? What's not acceptable?
Yeah.
What's acceptable? So
Even
how does that
questions that
work
you didn't
in
think were
terms
questions.
of relationship? Yeah.
Well, with my husband, I usually tell him like if I'm interested in someone, and what I mean by interested, like I want to date them, I want to fuck them, I want to, have something long term. Because right now it's like I'm older, I'm not really interested in hitting and missing, or
Right.
shooting whenever.
Hit it quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd rather
You want to
have
have connections.
a connection and relationship, and so he understands that. So if I say, you know what, Bob looking kind of good, I might want to talk to Bob. Okay, he knows about Bob.
Right.
Versus I go and talk to Bob and develop something, and then, oh, you know what? I had sex with Bob.
Yeah.
Like, who the fuck is Bob?
You gotta be proactive.
Right. Yeah. So
And a lot of people don't understand
they
that.
don't do that. And it's I think if you're in a lifestyle, if you're truly in a lifestyle, the communication should be A1.
Absolutely.
And I think that's where people get the misconception. A lot of the
They think it's a
I'm
free-for-all.
polygynous. So I made the announcement. When did I make the announcement? Like 2017, around that time, that I was really wanting to have a sister wife. I had to come to grips with that. And because at first I was like, hell no, I'm not sharing my nigga. You got me bent out of shape.
Most black women.
Right.
Yeah.
But then I had to, when I met my now ex, he was incarcerated. And he introduced the lifestyle to me. But he was very honest and upfront from the very beginning. He's like, I'm polygynous. I want 3 wives. This is what I want to do. Blah, 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 X, Y, Z. Are you cool with this? I had no alternative but to sit here and I was like, hold on, let me
find
pray
out.
about this.
Right,
Let me get. But then I had to think to myself, most of our black men are where? Incarcerated.
And the ones that ain't.
Right. And
Then we outnumber black men.
Exact
like,
6 to 1.
3 to 1, 6
No,
to 1.
6 to
Oh, it's
1.
6 to 1 now?
It's 6 to 1.
That's crazy. That's
We
why I like to
outnumber
share my
black men
men's.
6 to
But
1.
they got to share me
And
too.
so, unfortunately, a lot of us are going to be doing some involuntary. We already doing that bullshit, right? We're already doing some involuntary
Heavy.
sharing around here, right? I don't want to be one of those statistics. I'd rather do voluntarily
sharing.
You know what I'm
At least
saying?
you know what's going on.
And again, you're my sister. You're my sister. You're my sister. If
This
you-
is a family.
right, this is a family. This is community. But most women don't think the way that I do, right?
Economically.
Right.
first.
So I am pro-black. This is how I operate and how I think. So again, I'm always thinking about my community first. My community always first. So if, again, you're my sister, right? And if you were not married, if, even though your husband is amazing, but if there was someone, again, if my husband was someone that you were looking for in a partner, who am I to say no?
Yeah.
Who am I to stop that? You see what I'm saying? Again, black women are the last to get married and the first to divorce in our community. Out of all the other races of women, we're the last to get married and we're the first to divorce. So unfortunately, we have this stigma in our community when it comes to marriage. I'm trying to get sisters to be married. Most sisters, again, are not dating outside the race. This is just facts.
Heavy
we
on
are
us.
not
Yeah, we're a
dating.
little bit more. We're very loyal.
We're very like,
loyal.
I'm black,
We're
black,
just
blackity
not-
black.
We're just not doing that. We keep the race together. I don't give a fuck Instagram. I said what the fuck I said.
And I agree.
Like I said what I said. Black men are out here
Doing them
interracially
shits.
dating more than any other race of men. So unfortunately, again, I asked this last night at our Christmas party. I said, who at this table is dating white men? Nobody raised
Not a
their
one.
hand. Not one sister raised their hand. I said, no, we are not dating white men out here. It's just not going down like that. Nobody's dating Billy Bob.
No.
We're not doing
What
that.
about Chad?
We're not dating
I like
Chad.
Chad.
Not Billy Bob.
We're not-
Bob is something
Maybe
different.
Chad.
Baby, if I find a Chad, Mark is gonna be gone in a minute.
But it's just not going down like that. It's
Right.
just not. Like a lot of us are not doing that.
It's just preference. Want to keep in touch with us and what we have going on? Visit our website at omgoddesses.com and join our VIP list. Check out our upcoming events. Need to add to your spicy bag? Well, click on Shop Bedroom Candy for the top of the line bath and body products, makeup, and bedroom accessories. Consider booking us for a fun, sexy, and educational show with your circle. We won't disappoint. I do have a question around bisexuality, bi-curious as a woman. Did you always feel like you were bi-curious or did it just develop at a certain age?
For me, at 6, I knew that. Well, I didn't know because at 6, in
You
our
don't know
time,
nothing.
You don't know shit.
Right.
All you
They
is
know
like,
now.
Oh, I like her, and then at 18 is when I realized that it was something more because I was like looking at my best friend at the time, like, oh my God, her lips and this
Everything
and that. And
about
I'm like,
her.
wait a minute, why are you feeling like that?
Right.
And I knew she was completely straight, so I just dismissed it as something wrong with me.
Yep.
And then when 30 came around, like, no, this feeling is not going away. So I gotta experience this to see if this is where I really want to be.
So you tasted it?
I sure did.
And did.
And did. And she thought that I was like lying to her that I had never done it.
I thought I was a little curiosity. But then I told this story yesterday when we had our business meeting. And I said, yeah, what curiosity killed that cat in college.
Not in a good way.
Shout out to my one of my good girlfriends, but she's Hispanic and she's very hairy. And we was cheap back then. We had no wax kit, no nothing. So I had
They
the
had
wax, and I
razors?
said, well,
Them $1.
yeah, no. And so I said, well, what's down there? We gonna, get that. And she was like, I need help. And so we had no sticks. We had a butter knife. So I had to get down there, and I looked down there, and it looked like a bought up piece of newspaper.
Oh Lord!
It looked like lunch meat that had been spoiled.
You got the chitlins.
Yeah, and I why it's hanging? Why it hang like that? Why?
And then from there, you was just turned off by all women.
Yeah, I said no, I can't.
But what if you saw what if you saw pretty coochie?
And that's
would
the
you
thing.
be interested?
That's the one.
But then she was like, oh, well, what about yours? So she looked at mine and she was like, why your clit so little? I said, first of all, ho. Mine ain't hanging down low and swimming down wide. Okay, to the things ain't no. It tuck in real nice.
She like the hat.
She just come out every now and then like,
right. How are you doing? That's how she gets to the get. But you it's a little different.
It's just there.
But at the time she was messing around with two dudes and they was going ham bananas. I said, they gonna have bananas over that piece of toilet meat?
That's crazy.
They was going ham sandwich. Like one was trying to kill himself. Yes, girl, it was going down in the DMs. I was like, wait.
She had the
Well,
She had the platinum coochie.
I was like,
so she had the WAP.
yeah.
WAP.
Yeah.
I
what
couldn't
about
understand.
So what about you? Because I mean, you said that you are bi, but you prefer men. Like
I
where
am very preferential bi.
Right.
Okay.
And people don't agree with it, but
you're
it is
not a pillow
thing.
princess. Are
I'm
you?
not a pillow princess.
That's
I eat what I like, and it comes to food and coochie. Okay.
And it gotta look good.
So my very first time,
And be clean. Hello. Can you have a clean
that's
coochie?
the one. My very first time that I thought that I might like girls, I was 9. My very first kiss with a girl.
Wow.
My very first touching on anything was a girl. I was 9 years old. And then I got introduced to men. And I was like, oh, this is shit. I like them. But also she was, shorty still, she's a thing.
I think that happens too as little kids because like
girls,
we used to play all the time and we play house and there was no boys. So it was always the girl was the father. One was and so I think
play
when I was
with
a kid,
family, and that's scary too.
I'd be the father and you be the mother, and we had to pretend like we was going to bed and stuff.
Yeah.
So I might have had a little touchy feelies when I was a kid, but it never went further than that.
Mine did.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, my first kiss was my first everything was a woman,
right?
Or a girl. We were 9, so I can't say a woman.
Not a woman.
It was a girl. As I got older, I got into men.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because I was reprimanded for that encounter with the girl.
Wow. Oh, y'all got caught?
Hell yeah.
Oh,
we was in my parents' bushes, and them bushes was not that tall. Okay, we got caught.
Mm-hmm.
I knew what I liked at that time, but also I didn't know whether that was all I liked.
Right.
Because I knew I had a neighbor that was 2 houses down, and I liked him too.
Right.
And I used to sneak him over too. Yeah. We didn't go in the house. We didn't never do nothing sexual. Till this day, we still ain't never did nothing sexual. But I knew I liked him too.
Right.
So I knew at a young age I liked both of them. As my first sexual encounter was with a man, and it was not.
He was like, "Ooh, dick."
Yeah.
So it wasn't. It wasn't hey, let's do this. It was a forced thing.
Oh.
And that's just how it wasn't. The next 3-4 times after that was forced, and it wasn't even the same person. So it was just like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to like. Fuck it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't experience really that I was bisexual until I was, I got into the lifestyle 27.
Mm-hmm.
I went to that party with my boyfriend, and my first encounter at the party was with 3 women that just grabbed me up and was like, we taking you.
Mm-hmm.
Me not knowing no better at the time, I just went with it like, fuck it, it is what it is. Because you learn that. That's a learned response. Like, fuck it, do what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. I actually enjoyed the experience with the 3 women.
Mm-hmm.
My guy and their guys were all on the side of the room, just kind of, like pleasuring themselves to it. He disappeared, like I said. I found him. He was throat deep in some coochie. Like, I can't even say face deep. He was to the chest in some coochie. And then came and tried to kiss me, and I was like, whoa. We not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to do what he wanted to do. Okay, cool. I disappeared. Now, when he found me, it was 2 hours later, and it was a nigga balls deep in me.
Mm-hmm.
And I looked up, and he was looking over the wall, and the nigga left me at the party.
Oh, he was mad?
Mad, pissed, heated.
So you could be with women, but you couldn't
with no conversation.
So do you feel like that's because y'all, like, it's my understanding, like, when you get into lifestyle and you do stuff, like,
that's
y'all need to have those conversations beforehand. Like, are we doing full swap? Are we doing soft swap? Are we, and let's talk about, some people might know.
I didn't know
full swap is like, y'all do
time.
Everything.
Right.
Soft swap might be just like mouth, pleasure and stuff like that, but no penetration. But
we didn't have that.
Y'all didn't have that conversation. Well, you say you were kind of
I was brand new.
And then you and we talked about rules. Like, remember I was talking like I know some people in the lifestyle, their rules might be condoms, of course.
For
no
sure.
kissing and no oral. Only just straight sex. And then I remember you were saying that that could be a different experience. You fall into it. Yeah. But if you have your partner and y'all have that conversation that you can't do it, it is what it is. Is it a hard stop, or do you just
me, I'm kind of fluid. It depends on my relationship with the person. That very first person, all the rules apply. I don't know anything. I'm just being thrown into it. All rules apply until we have a conversation. If we never had a conversation, we got problems.
But it's the best to have that conversation before y'all even go there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why it was a clusterfuck of bullshit that night.
Got it.
The next one I learned in being with him, he wasn't a kisser. So one of my rules was no kissing. I walked in on him kissing somebody else. You don't even.
Oh, you done broke the rules.
You don't even kiss me. We got a problem.
Yeah.
I'm heavy on don't do with nobody else what you wouldn't do with your partner, especially on basic shit. Kissing, intimacy, like basic intimate needs. If you're not doing it with your partner, you're not giving it to somebody else. Cuddling. If we're not cuddling, you ain't cuddling it with nobody. Because you're my man. If there's nothing left for the home, what do we have?
Right.
And then I learned that sometimes my rules are on a person by person basis. That man I wasn't okay with kissing because he's not a kisser. Right. I rarely get kisses. I don't want him kissing somebody else. Right. That's not a benefit I want an outside person to get because I rarely get it.
Right. Right.
Unprotected sex, that's situational. I prefer we don't do it at all. But if these are people that we have built a relationship with that we trust, not nothing in it. We're not exchanging no fluids because now we got deeper problems. If you have a baby by somebody else, I'm done. Point blank, period. That's it. That's all. Despite the fact that we made these agreements, these rules are set in place to where once we made those agreements, on the back end, we're still good. And I've learned that like a lot of rules are situational. Protection, that ain't one of them for me.
What'd you say?
Protection ain't one of them for me. You don't know what's going around. You don't know how it's getting there. This person that you're having sex with might not be nasty, but she also might be with a man that's nasty. We don't ever know what they doing.
So in this, in just being open and all of this, and you having multiple relationships, how do y'all deal with in terms of like testing and things like
every
that?
3 months?
Is it regular? Minimum. Every 3 months?
Minimum.
At best 6. If like for me, because I'm not at the hit and quit it.
Right.
It's like, you know what I mean? But I used to do 3 months when I was swinging. Every 3 months, every 6 months, every year.
Yeah.
But now it's more like, since I have the same person,
you don't have to as much, or you think you don't.
Like that. He's like a second husband now. So it's not even that. But if I were to get involved with another person, we would both have to get tested. Sometimes though, if you be in the heat of the moment, you forget about that testing. But you do have to take care of yourself.
Immediately after.
Yes.
After you get in that heated moment.
Yeah.
And also sometimes it's just like, I know I'm only with you and him.
But you don't know who they with.
We don't know who they're with.
Facts.
The crazy thing is the statistics are so high for people who are in committed relationships. Any STD that I have ever caught,
like it's a lot more safe and a lot because of the regular testing, because of the communication.
I used to get people ask me, "Well, how often do you get tested? You go
as often as I feel like I need to."
A lot. I get tested. You want to see my paperwork now?
Right, but a lot of
but they don't have any paperwork.
And a lot of men ain't trying to get that paperwork.
No. And if
I said, any STD I ever caught, I've caught
people
2
that are not in the lifestyle think that just will be reckless out here.
Very.
And we don't get tested on a regular basis. I was like, do you know how often I get tested?
They have too much trust in their partners.
I have to get tested because I have had an HIV scare in 2014. And when the government comes knock out, I had the government knock on my fucking door. And I was with a young man, and because they gave me the time ranges, because I know who I have sex with, and so they couldn't give me his name because once the government gets involved, HIPAA laws and all kinds of stuff, and they was like, Miss Pierce, you need to come down here immediately. I was at work. They had sent the paper. They put this little notice on my door. I'm like, what the fuck, the office? Because I thought it was just the office, my apartment situation at the time. I was like, what the fuck they want? And I was like, Department of Health?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, how the fuck they know where I live? What the fuck is this? So I call and I leave a message. They didn't answer. So the next day I, called them and they were like, you need to come down here immediately. I said, for what? And they said, were you with a person in 2011? I said, yeah. Can you give me the person's name? Legally, we cannot. I said, So you can't tell me.
But they give you my name.
Right. I said, what?
Because they have to.
They have to. Yeah.
Name.
So they had to give.
It's a health.
All because it was that serious.
Mm-hmm.
So he had to give all
Everybody.
names, every goddamn name.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, once they told me it was HIV,
I wouldn't have known what to do.
I was at work.
They don't show up
I dropped the phone and just, they were like, we can either come to you. I said, come to my job? Absolutely not. So I called my father and I said, Dad, XYZ, da da da. He's like, I'm on my way. I literally sunk to the floor in the bathroom and just bawled.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, because I don't be reckless out here like that. But because I was with one person, we weren't out here just. I'm thinking he was just. Nah, wasn't like
right.
that.
That's why I'm like, I'd rather be in a community or with people who care about my.
Exactly.
You know, we all are being careful and safe, and communication is important because a lot of times, I remember I was interviewing a polyamorous couple, and I was so blown away with their level of communication, and I was like, if monogamous relationships adopted,
that would be so much better, right?
Polyamorous communication, it would be a lot less divorces.
Yeah, like I be trying to explain that to people. The amount of communication we have to have on a regular fucking basis. Like people think we just be out here wilding. And I'm like, you don't even understand like the fact that I have to communicate everything. Like everything that I do, I have to communicate on. Like we have to communicate. It's not we don't have a choice in the matter. You have to talk.
Because how else?
Right.
I got one other question.
Okay.
And then we can move to the next thing. But I want to know, being in the lifestyle and being Black.
Ooh.
Because I follow a couple of podcasts. I think one is called The Sweet Life, one is called Black and Kinky, and these are these are married couples who are lifestylers, and it's like finding a community of Black people, especially if you're preferential to people of color. You want other Black people. How difficult is it navigating in the you know what I'm saying, the poly lifestyle? How difficult is it in finding your people, your tribe that look like
I'll start on this one because I feel like I'm the newest to Arizona right now.
Right. Yeah.
For me, it has been extremely and excruciatingly difficult.
Right.
One, because my partner is vanilla-ish. And I say vanilla-ish in the terms because I let him know, I laid it all out on the table from the beginning. Like, listen, I'm bi, but my preference is men.
Right.
He's still there, but I've had a lot of them who have still been there and then didn't realize down the line, like, this is what you signed up for.
Right.
And I'm waiting on that shoe to drop. Whatever. It is what it is. And I have adapted that mentality because, like, listen, a lot of times it's just going to be what it is.
Right.
Everybody
you're not compromising who you are.
I'm not. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry. I've done it all my life. And when I learned who I was, I am not compromising that for nobody. And I understand that in this life, there may be a soulmate for me, but if it ain't, guess what? It's 20 of them. And sometimes that's better anyway. But for me being here, I've been on the dating sites. I've been on the Reddits. I've been and a lot of it is either Black men with unattractive ass white women that want to hit me up, or white couples that want to hit me up, and I ain't going. I don't care how offended you are.
Here then in Arizona, it's
absolutely a need.
Okay, that's good
I
to know.
don't care how offended you are by it. I'm here for everything Black. Black dick, Black coochie, Black money, Black all of it.
Come on and talk about it, sis.
If you don't fit into none of them categories, baby, I don't want you. And if you're offended by it, I'm sorry. If it affects my money, I'm sorry. Guess what? I'm not deviating from it.
Got it.
That is what it is, and I am allowed to have my preference like everybody else in this world. And I get a lot of people that's upset about it. Oh, you racist.
They'll be all right.
Guess what? If racist is what the fuck I gotta be to not want you, guess what? I am racist. Call me motherfucking whatever you need to call me.
So in Arizona, it was hard, but when you were in Chicago, it was a lot easier.
My networks were all black.
Okay, and it was easy to find that network.
No questions asked.
Okay.
No, I was found. They sought after me.
Got it.
Here, I gotta seek out the network and hope that something that I want lands in that
Are there
network.
particular sites that you go on?
Not so
like FetLife or different things like that?
FetLife is different, especially here.
Yeah.
My FetLife in Chicago was pretty much all black. My FetLife here, I ain't ran across a black person yet.
There is one that's called, I think it's called Kinky in Arizona Black Kink or something. I forgot.
I haven't found them yet.
There's one on FetLife. I think it's not a lot of them though.
Reddit, they got the swingers. One place where I have found black swingers on accident, the BLK app, Black app. It's a dating app, and I found a lot of black swinger and
here in Arizona.
Absolutely, it's everywhere.
Oh wow, awesome!
And the crazy thing, I used that app in Chicago, and I didn't find nothing worth catching there.
Have y'all
Here,
tried SLS?
I have not yet, but I'm gonna look into it.
What's the SLS?
It's swingerlifestyle.com basically.
Okay, I'm gonna look on
That's
there.
how I met my boyfriend. But it's a mixture of people. FetLife, I was on there. I met.
It's more kinksters, heavy kinksters.
Yeah, it's
like,
a lot of.
I meant to kink, but it was like, ooh, you want pins and shit? Oh, I don't know.
Me, I'm like, ooh,
levels. Yeah, it's a lot of levels.
But also, it depends on what level you are in a lifestyle at the moment. Like I said, I'm basically backtracking now because my partner is not lifestyle to the level that I am. He's experienced certain things, he's done certain things, but he's not at the level that I am to where I've experienced and I excelled in it. Like real quick, my ex said, or the one that introduced me was like, I'm kind of jealous now because I've watched you blossom in a lifestyle to a capacity, to a capacity that I never thought you would reach. And I was like, well, you never gave me the chance.
I say you could have blossomed with you.
You could have grown with me. There have been partners in the past that have grown in the lifestyle with me. And once I got to a point, because I'm a very explorational motherfucker, I want to fuck around and find out. And if I don't like it,
if you fuck around and then you
find out,
you're gonna find out.
Sometimes you're gonna learn that I like it, and sometimes you're gonna learn that I don't. And I'm that person that's gonna push the envelope and find out whether I like it or not before I be like, no, I'm not ever doing that.
So you're living without regret.
You know,
you tried it, you done it.
I ain't going.
Yeah,
you know.
So for you, SLS seems to work here in Arizona, huh?
It did. Yeah, it did. But see, the difference between us two is I prefer women more than, because I already had the husband, I already had the boyfriend, and they're both great guys.
When I get there, I'm gonna be there too.
Yeah, but women, it's like it's something different with women and me. And then I find the women where it's like, you're mine, you gonna leave your husband, right? I'm like, no.
Yeah, that seems.
Find somebody else to do it.
Do that, but SLS is a good site. Just talking to people, period. Sometimes Facebook groups have people that are like-minded as well. Get to talk to somebody, you might find somebody that you're interested in, or vice versa.
And it don't have to be in your same city, because a lot of the people that I met in the Facebook groups,
they're not in the same
I met
city.
while I was in Chicago, but they did not live in Chicago. A lot of people that I connected with in parties and things, like the groups that I was in Chicago, it was people from different cities, different states. They came out, and I met a lot of people and made great connections off of people who didn't even live in the same city as me. It's odd in Arizona, but I got at least 40 other states I can go to where I know somebody, you know?
But it's the difference between Arizona, period,
Yeah.
and state. We're backwards, we're behind, we're not
Progressive at it.
Yeah, we're not
we're not
progressive.
Yeah.
I'm a native of Arizona. My husband is from Michigan. When we would go to Michigan, it was always a party together.
Yeah.
So it was something.
It's
to
hard
do.
finding them here.
Here it's like you debate in your mind, do I want to be around more, white folks, or do I want to be with my own people? And you have to search your own people, or you have to go out of state again to find them.
Right.
One of the
Arizona
things
is just
I've learned-
a weird place.
But one of the things I'm learning here is it's an untapped market. And
It
coming from
is.
Chicago and
That's
coming
what-
here
yeah,
and even
that's
having
what-
a
yeah.
conversation with you guys that this is an untapped market. If we all put our networks together, it don't matter whether they're from Arizona, Chicago, New York.
But you got people
New
from New
Mexico.
York, from Chicago,
They
from,
will
that might have
come.
been, like you said, from Chicago, you were doing that. And then here it's like,
They
Where they
can't
at?
find
Where they
their
at?
tribe.
Yeah, so it's-
because we
so it's
met
about
that
being
young couple
vocal.
Yesterday when we were having our meeting, and one was from Ohio and the other one was from New York,
Mm-hmm.
and they're transplants, here or whatever. And so it was like when we told them about our event
Mm-hmm.
in February, they were like, "What? Like y'all doing something like that here?" And we're like, "Absolutely," because we need
It's
it.
a need.
It's
It's a need here. It's an untapped market, and we want to put Arizona on the map because I think
you
like when
can.
you go to New York or Atlanta, there's a lot of, or Detroit or whatever. There's a lot of expos or
Right.
events and things, and we want to bring. We're trying to find the local people, here that are and really put them on the map, and let's collaborate. I'm all about collaboration
For sure.
I think collaboration over competition is
Anytime.
is best. So I know somebody that's into this. I can, let me refer you to this person. And then we all come together and we're like-minded, and everybody's like-minded too. You don't have to worry about, because I already said, I know eventually I'm probably gonna be like, I don't even want to fuck with vanilla shit.
Oh,
I already
yeah,
know
you
eventually
will.
I'm not gonna want to fuck
And you'll
with
get
vanilla
there.
shit.
You will.
But the last thing I want to ask you guys before we move to the next segment is, what advice would you have for someone who may be considering ethical non-monogamy? I'll start with Judy.
Be honest with yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Figure out. I mean, it takes time. Like, I'm still evolving too in my own sexuality and what
Right.
I want in my life.
Right.
But that initial thought of what actually makes you happy, what are you good with? Are you good with sharing? Are you not? And if you're not, you can still be in a lifestyle of some sort. But in any case, find what's good for you and stick to it. Be honest with yourself. Don't be a fluffer. When it comes to them threesomes and all that, don't do that.
And don't be no pillow princess.
No matter, and if your husband or boyfriend or whoever you're with is forcing you to do something, it's an automatic no. You gotta, don't do it. Don't try to please someone else in this lifestyle, because you're never gonna please anybody.
Thank you for sharing that. You have anything you want to add, huh?
For me, mine is pretty much similar to her. It's all about learning yourself. And I will say, don't be so hard on yourself about learning who you are right off the bat. I've been in a lifestyle 7 years now, and each year I'm learning new things that I like, new things that I don't like. Something I liked 7 years ago may not be something that I like now. Something that I liked when I was a unicorn may not be something I like as a woman in a relationship. It's all about really, really, really exploring who you are and evolving in that, and being able to be open and honest with whoever you're
and
with.
being okay with that, because that's the thing.
Accepting it within yourself, yes, for sure.
And then because I feel like the more education I get and the more exposure I get, I become more, people think, I'm at almost 50. You know what I'm saying?
Like,
it's
I'm a hoe.
and I'll be like, ooh,
I'm this hoe if I'm a hoe.
Girl, it's a lot of hoes in this world.
Yeah, you explore different things, and I know
I
I've
like my
evolved,
hoes
and I'll
honest.
continue.
That's my
People
favorite
think,
saying.
people think you stop evolving, and we're gonna always evolve. I might be 70, looking at interested.
If you
in
go a
something
day
else.
where you're not learning something, then you're not living.
Yeah,
That part.
yeah. Kiki, did you want to add anything?
Do your research.
Yeah.
Pray. Like, really, you have to do your research. You have to pray about it. If it's really something for you, really do your research on it before you even dive in deep. Because I know for me, I really had to really sit and think, because for the longest time I was like, hell no, I'm not sharing my man with no other woman, because that was me being selfish, right? And then I had to think to myself, well, if I'm really for my community the way that I say that I am, and I'm really about this work and about liberation African people from these chains, I have to really think outside the box. I really have to think outside myself, because that would be unselfish of me. But again, like, this is where we have to, as queens, right? We have to really come together. And I said this last night for our party that we had. I was like, our sisterhood is not broken, it's fractured.
Yeah.
It's not to where we can't
can't be
repair
mended.
it. We just have to come together and have these conversations. Because like I said, I'm never gonna fight another sister in the street over no community dick. That's crazy as fuck. That's crazy. That's crazy to me. Like, I be seeing it on World Star. Like,
And
you
we not
literally
doing
sitting
that.
up here scrapping over a nigga that didn't want neither one of y'all.
And the reality is 9 times out of 10, neither one of y'all really wanted him
The important
either.
thing is that he was lying to both of y'all. So why are y'all even doing that? Y'all need to come together and be like, let's, whatever.
That's why I say that 9 times out of 10, we didn't really want them either. We just wanted to be able to say we had them. We didn't really want them.
Well, I learned that even with my marriage. I realized that all the time I was dealing with this dude, it was ego for me. It was trying to prove a point. It had nothing to do with the love for him because I really never loved him.
It's like once she say she don't want him no more, I won. And he can go about his business.
Right.
Like, we don't really want them either.
Like,
if we're being honest, and most women won't admit that.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to stop this internal fight within our community. As far as, again, like I said, the stats don't lie, 6-1. So a lot of our men are either been incarcerated or something to that effect. Again, a lot of us do not want to date outside of our race. So we're going to have to do some voluntary sharing around this motherfucker, whether we believe so or not. There's not going to be enough black men to go around. This is just facts. I'm not sitting up here and telling you this is for every fucking body, because it's not.
It is not.
But again, we have to get outside of white supremacy and our conditions around monogamy, because this was forced upon us when we came in here in the inception of this country. Right? We were adopted into monogamy and Christianity and all this other bullshit that we weren't adopted to. So we have to stop with all this internal strife as far as competition. I'm not in competition with you, sis.
Not at all.
I love you. Like, I love everyone in this fucking room. There is no competition. I'm not here to sit up here and fight with you. For what? For what? So again, if we stop the strife and the bullshit and get to the root of the fucking issue, a lot of us could win. I would rather have 3 incomes than 1.
So with that, does that still apply when it's like, because you say we're 6-1, there's 6 of them to want us. What if you encounter a woman who ain't with the other women, like me? If what's good for the goose got to be good for the gander. If you want other women, I'm going to have other men, and you going to either accept that or you ain't going to have shit. Well, we going to have each other, and that's going to be it. Or we going to have
I'm not interested in women in a relationship. I'm not interested in a woman for the sexual aspect, because I'm not bisexual.
You don't have to have sex.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to be sexual.
Right. Yeah, so it's more of a community thing, and for her to be actually married. I want black women to be married. So for me, it has nothing to do with the sexual aspect between me and her. It's more of a friendship builder for me. I want friendship and community and building that way. And for her to actually be a wife, because again, we're the last to get married and we're the first to divorce. So I want her to have his last name. That's what that's about. So as far as that is concerned, it has nothing to do with the sexual aspect. Now, if she wants to have a girlfriend and if she's bisexual then that's something that we can have a conversation about.
What if she wants to have a boyfriend?
That's something that we can have a conversation about. I'm open to that, but we have to have a conversation about that.
Right.
I'm not so square as far as in so structured to where we couldn't have that kind of conversation.
Yeah.
But
as long as you have the conversation.
As long as we have the conversation.
And everybody agree upon the conversation.
Exactly. Exactly. So for me, I'm not so rigid and structured as far as how this thing is going to work. But for me, I want my sister, wife, and I to be on the same goddamn page.
Yeah.
And I want me and all of us to be on the same page.
Yeah.
So, because again, I'm a reflection of them and they're a reflection of me.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So
awesome.
This is beautiful.
I love
beautiful.
Yeah.
This was a great conversation. I want tell us where people can reach you, your social media, your website. Give all of that information. Because we got to shout it out. People got to see where you are. They got to follow you.
So you got businesses.
You
got businesses.
Yes, business, and it's growing. Thank you. It's Thickumms.com, and my website is Thickumms.com. And also, I'm on Instagram as Thickumms, spell out DOTCOM, and Instagram. Or you can reach me personally, D Riley. If you look me up, it's D Boss.
Period.
Riley. And what I do is I specialize in plus size, t-shirts, leggings, things like that. I prefer t-shirts mostly because you get to say what you want to say without saying it. If they see you, oh, bitch, okay, what? Okay.
Right, I love your shirt. It says, never date a man that can't respect your husband.
And that's the one.
Hello.
That's facts. That's facts. You'll have trouble in the city if you don't, but
we'll make sure to get the right spelling when we post it and everything, so that people will be able to definitely follow you. Thank you for coming.
Yes.
And any social media or anything you want to share?
Mine, like I said, is Tye LaChelle, TYE_LACHELL on ELLE on Instagram. It's Miss Tye LaChelle on TikTok. Facebook is just Tye LaChelle. Don't forget the TYE.
Period.
Exactly. And my businesses are growing. I'm looking into podcasting. I do lifestyle parties, pool parties, things of that nature. And I'm more so just an open-minded person that you can just talk to about any and everything, and we just connect.
Just
That's what we
it's
need
a
to do.
vibe.
It's a vibe all the time.
It is.
Don't mind if I get a little city. That's who I am. That's what it's gonna be. But enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you guys for coming. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on
to our spicy.
We call it our spicy bag. So we always try to talk about some type of toy or something that we want to share.
Oh, awesome.
We're trying to have, now this is like our third or fourth podcast.
Yes.
And so as we do it, we're learning structure and different things that we want to do. We're trying to have structure without having structure. If, Kiki's the one to be like, girl, just let it roll. And like this just roll. We just talked. It was a conversation.
You gotta have some structure.
I absolutely loved it. But what we got from the spicy bag?
So the spicy bag today, because yesterday Miss Kesha, our bedroom candy alum, you know what I'm saying? Miss Kesha, she is an amazing bedroom candy. Used to be in consulting, now she's on the corporate side of things. But we did a little mini reel yesterday, and we sat there and we watched Miss Kesha with the amazing, and she's actually amazing with this particular product. The Play With Me straps.
I love it.
Man, these goddamn straps, honey, are just my favorite. Listen, these straps, if you've ever seen Kesha with these damn straps.
Is she going to be at the expo?
We're crossing our fingers. Hope to God. Please. If Kesha's watching, please come to our Raggedy City.
If not, we'll put somebody in and we'll show you.
I will take it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to demonstrate, but I will be the demonstratee.
So the Play With Me straps are pretty much
they're sex positioning straps.
Okay.
Sex position straps where you can do different positions in them. So if you have any kind of leg problems, knee problems, back problems, anything like that where you can't really stretch your legs, this is going to be for you. So how you get in the straps is they have a kind of hook here and like this.
And it's very soft material.
Soft, so
you can put them around your neck. So just imagine that on your naked body too. Right. Yeah. So you can put that around your neck. You can put it around your waist, or you could put it, you know what I'm saying, behind your back. It's just it's gonna be very soft on your skin.
Yes.
I've looked at a lot of other sex position straps. I'm gonna tell you what I love about this one because it's easy for you to get in and out. You're not trapped in it. Some of those.
Not like you're hog tied or something.
It's easy to adjust, and it's easy to just from the snap. You can show the snap, and you can just get out the position where some of them I've seen it's like a loop and a belt. You know how hard it is when you in a certain position to try to unhook that belt.
I thought that was the point.
This is very easy to do. The other thing for me, as you get older, when you get up, you know, your 40s, I'm not as flexible as I used to be. Yeah. I get upset. I know I need to do a lot more. I want to get back into doing yoga. I can't put my legs behind my back,
like a big
behind my head the way I could in my 20s. I'm just keeping it real. Yeah. And so then what happens is you rely on your partner a lot to hold you. Now he can't play with you. He can't do those hands.
It takes a lot of elements away.
You know, he's got to hold you. Whereas the sex positioning straps frees his hands to be able to explore other places. And that's going to keep you in place. And then it keeps you from having like the fatigue. So you'll be able to hold it in a longer position, and you're not cramping. You're not, you know what I'm saying? It's going to hold you in place, and you can have a lot of fun, and your partner's hands can just explore and do everything. That's what I love about it. You can even do it, have a BDSM move, put it behind your neck,
so
and
like
then
this.
Yep, and then like be on the floor.
Hold it so I can show you real quick. So this position, real quick. If you go like this, you're on all fours. And you can
those straps would be longer because those will go behind your legs,
and you can get a little. So if you like to be choked without,
that will give you the choking.
That will give you the sensation of
not
being choked.
Choking stroke. I love it.
Yeah. And your legs, your legs can be in there at the same time while you're being choked as he's hitting it from the back. So your legs go in here. So
you can do it at the legs, or you can do it to the knees, down to the knees. And if you want, like, you know, if you're in a position and you want your knees, like, and
Friend,
open it up.
Do a quick little demo of how to show them?
We don't have to do it on the floor, but I just will say this. I love these mainly because I'm older and I need some help. Let's just be real. I love but these are good too for stretching. So like if you're not having sex, you can do this and pull the straps and just work on just stretching a little bit more. Like every day, say I'm going to stretch a little bit further, a little bit further, a little bit further. So it helps with that. These feel so soft.
They are.
These are, and this is like, so then this would go behind your neck, right? And excuse me.
There you go.
See how easy it is to just adjust? So you can adjust while you know, figuring out the position. You can look up a lot of different sex positions. And some of those positions, when I look at them, I'm like, I don't think I could do that. But with the aid of the Play With Me, these are only $55. I think everybody should have these in their kit. And you can go to omgoddesses.com and click on Shop Bedroom Candy, and you can buy these
they're on
sex position straps.
Now.
So it's $55. What I love about Bedroom Candy too is that they come. People ask us, why don't you sell your own products? We haven't manufactured our own.
We will.
But
it's coming.
But we know about high quality we met with Bedroom Candy, and I'm just not going to sell anything. And sometimes you manufacture your own and then you lose the quality because you're trying to, you know, you're getting some cheap products. Beautifully packaged. They come in a little bag. So these are great to travel with. Like if you can throw them in your suitcase, it'll go through the machine and they would be none the wiser with TSA.
Checking nothing.
Yeah, or you have kids. So it's, you know, it's put away. It's amazing. And these come with a little booklet that gives you the different positions that you can do it with. But this was what sold me. Is that you just easily snap off. So your partner doesn't have to get you out of the situation. You can just snap yourself out of it. This goes great around your waist for doggy style. Your partner is pulling you, but then they can also pull you back into like a reverse cowgirl and you ride in them. So it's just amazing. This is my favorite. And I think we do them when we do our naughty bingos and stuff like that.
Bingos and things like that. So people love the straps. People like, oh, I want to see the
They
straps.
sell
I
out
want to see the
fast, too.
swing. I want to, you know, so
I want to see his swing.
the swing is absolutely
Yeah, we'll have to do that in
fucking
another
fire.
spicy
We're gonna
bag.
do another spicy bag.
But yeah, we always like to take one product or something, and we like to share it and talk about the benefits of it. So that is our spicy bag, and I think what happened?
They
with
kicking
it?
us out.
Probably. And then the other thing is that our website is omgoddesses.com.
Yes.
We want to talk about upcoming things.
Yes.
So February 17th through the 19th, we are having the Melanated Sex Expo in Arizona.
In there. Put some
Bombs, all of that stuff.
Yeah, put all that shit in there.
We felt like it was really important to foster a sense of inclusion because, again, like we were talking about, people think that certain things or kinks or different things that people are into is white people shit. And there are Black people. We are not a monolith. We are into all different things.
All of it.
And sometimes it's great to be able to learn and share and meet your tribe or talk to people that look like you, so you can feel that, you know, sense of inclusion and not feel weird that you like what you like.
Yeah.
And so it's
No
gonna
kink
be
shaming.
yeah, it's a whole weekend. We're gonna have panels. We're gonna have classes. We're gonna have demos. We are bringing Sir Marvelous.
Come on.
He's a master. He's a master BDSM dom. He's gonna bring his sub and do a show.
Nice.
But
The
what's really cool,
Siphon the
is-
unicorn.
Yeah, he specializes in BDSM 101, so he'll be able to talk about it, answer any questions, and then he even may take some volunteers to come up and do some.
You gonna get fire put on you?
Yeah.
I do a little.
So he specializes in fire play. You guys have to follow him at Sir Marvelous
like
Kinks on Instagram. And then we're bringing Dr. Tamara Rose. She is a womb healer. She's a sexologist. She's an author, because, you know, it's all about, you know, we got to talk about trauma and sex and coming, and, you know, and overcoming and things like that. We got to overcome some things so that we can be sexually free. So we're bringing Dr. Tamara Rose, and she's written many books, and so we're really excited to bring her as well. But we really want to highlight local people in the sex industry. We want to highlight LGBTQ activists, people who want to talk about how we can be allies in the Black community, because we're Black first. They're Black first. And a lot of times, a lot of these movements, women's movements, LGBTQ movements, all these things, sometimes they don't consider the Black community. The movement doesn't always consider it. So we want to know how we can be allies and help. We're going to talk more about ethical non-monogamy. We're going to talk about BDSM. We're going to talk about different types of things. We're going to talk about, you know, just sensual, being free with our sexuality. And then Saturday night, we're going to have a sexy masquerade party.
Oh, nice.
Is that this Saturday?
And no, it'll be that Saturday on the 18th of February.
She already like, wait a minute.
I will say this. It's best to buy a VIP ticket. We have limited tickets. It's best to buy the VIP
tickets. We have 100
because with the VIP ticket, you get access to everything. Friday night, we're having a reception for VIP only. They're getting a swag bag. We're gonna do. We're gonna feed them, have some drinks. That's only for VIP. Saturday and Sunday is open to general admission. If you get the general admission ticket, there's an extra fee for the ticket to the party. But if you buy VIP, you get the party, you get the swag bag, you get all of that. So it's like the best bang for your buck. We're gonna have vendors. We're still looking for vendors. If you want to be a vendor, definitely reach us at omgoddesses.com/expo. That's also where you buy your tickets. We're also looking for sponsors. Definitely want to promote local sponsors, because a lot of this is the first event. You know, the goal is that it's going to go national and global.
It will.
And we're going to put Arizona on the map. But it'll be a lot, probably this first one will be a lot of local people here. And so we want to promote local businesses. So definitely, if you're looking to be a vendor or a sponsor, definitely get with us. And anything that I missed?
Just be on the lookout for our 2023 calendar, 2024 calendar. We have a lot.
Yeah, we're trying to do some sexy trips.
Yeah,
we're trying to do.
We're both
we're gonna do a lot.
Be travel agents.
Well, I'm already a travel agent, so we'll be putting together some sexy trips.
Yeah, the first sexy trip that we
2024.
The first sexy trip that we are trying to come up with, we're either considering Costa Rica or Mexico for our first international OMG trip out, because we want Black people to experience not only luxury, but we want Black people to experience travel.
Yeah.
Because Black people don't have the luxury of traveling. And so,
and if we can do it in a group, the other thing too is a lot of the groups we may do, they may not be lifestyle trips, they might be lifestyle friendly.
Yeah.
And so what you do is you find yourself, if you go by yourself, then you don't find a lot of people that look like you. But if we go as a group, it's a group of us that all look alike, and that just changes the experience. So those are things that we're doing. So definitely follow us.
Yes.
And join our VIP list. So if you go on our website, you can click join our list. You just fill out a form. We promise we will not bother you every day sending you 50 million things. Our goal is really to send we work jobs and stuff. We'll probably do like a monthly newsletter, and we may send maybe a text or two every now and then that just kind of tells you what's going on. What we want to do with that VIP list too is that we want to give you first chance to buy, to put a deposit, and maybe even give you a discount. So those are things that we're looking to do just to stay in touch with us and join our goddess squad and our guy squad.
Awesome.
So
we have a lot of things cooking. We're excited. We're just we're ready. We
about to put Arizona on the map.
I think people don't understand just how much like this means, especially to me, because this expo was my concept, and when we came together and I told her about this was the first thing that we wanted to do. And so when the pandemic happened,
it's
it was
hard
just
too,
like,
y'all. It's being a business owner. It's like it's hard, but we are so determined because we know this is needed, and we know people are going to have a good time.
When we tell people this, they're just like, "You're having what? You're doing what? Like where are the tickets?" So
get y'all tickets because they're gonna get sold out. Like people are like. They're out there. Just go to omgoddesses.com/expo and get your tickets, especially that VIP.
Share it,
please.
Even if they're not local, share it. You never know who's gonna come from where.
I got some people from Detroit coming
because I'm bringing my Chicago people out.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. And again, this is the first of many.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
And we want to also announce, because we announced this last weekend, but we want to announce that we will be at Sex Down Southwest.
Sex by Southwest is what it's called. So Sex Down South, they're in Atlanta, but they're coming to Tucson the weekend after our expo. So in February, what's the weekend? The 24th or something like that. And they are doing an event. It's called Sex by Southwest, and we are going to be presenters.
Congrats.
So yeah, we're really excited about that collaboration.
It's nothing more than you can bear.
When we got the call from Marla, who runs Sex Down South, I've been following Marla for years. So I was in our car. I was like, sister, we about to be all like this, because this has just been. People don't understand like how long we've been doing this and putting in the work, and now the fruits of our fucking but people don't understand we've been putting in the work for a long time, and now the fruits of our labors are finally starting to come to pass. And so we are just honored and blessed to have you two beautiful queens here with
anytime.
Us. Yeah, this is just
welcome
amazing.
anytime,
so
and we really honored. And definitely we're gonna have a panel.
Yeah.
And if you guys want to come and be a part of our panel, we'll talk about it offline. If you want to be vendors with Thickumms and bring, and have a table and stuff.
I need some more stuff.
Yeah, because we gonna make it sexy. We gonna make it.
Oh yeah, it's going down. Because what's my
what do we say?
Tagline?
Bring your curiosity and leave your judgment at the door.
Because I tell people this all the time.
Don't even bring it to the door. Leave it in the car.
is better than gray.
Yes.
Black sex is better than gray. Period. Period. So we about to.
But everybody is welcome to come. Just know that, you know, the conversations are going to be more towards our you know, it'll be around, everybody has sex, but it'll be around melanated, the melanated community and our issues and things that we have to talk about. Yes. So, but everybody's welcome to come. Definitely welcome to come. We're going to have some fun. And because it's in February, we're going to be thinking around like Mardi Gras style. So that's what we were really focusing on. That's what we're having a masquerade party. So thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Everybody, you guys just experienced sex, love, and the Black experience with Orgasmic Melanin Goddesses. And have a wonderful, amazing life.
Oh, yes.
Thank you for watching Sex, Love, and the Black Experience podcast. Please continue to tune in and keep watching. And follow us at omgoddesses.com. Join our VIP list. Or Facebook and IG at omgoddesses20 and Twitter at omgoddesses.